to infinity and beyond.
Hello everybody, it's Roger and James here from DisKingdom.com, the Infinity and Beyond podcast. In this episode, we're going to be doing our review of Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series game. Episode 1 was Tangled Up In Blue. Going to give this up. We'll go into spoilers. We'll be discussing this. It's about 2 hours long. So James, what did you think of this Telltale game?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I've been playing the Telltale games for a while now, so I knew what to expect going into it. I think this is a fairly well put together one. I like that for the graphics, they've kind of dropped the whole like heavy line shading that they have in a lot of the other ones. It went in some very interesting directions that I was very surprised they did in the first episode. And while that is spoiler territory, and we will be talking about spoilers, let you go ahead and talk about your impressions first, and then we'll jump into the details.
As someone that's never played a Telltale game, I've obviously heard a lot about this, and a lot of people talk about it. And I jumped into it, and I kind of left it and kind of went, it was all right. It was okay. It was like the story was good. I enjoyed the story. I did think that was good. Graphic-wise, it looked good, but it kind of left me going, it's just a cutscene, and it reminded me of like the old game like Dragon Lair or some of the other old Mega CD games I used to have, or the really bad games where you have to press X at this point to set this off, and I hate that when it's in a video game. Every time one of those things, you've got to press X at the right time, or I can't stand those games because I suck at them. So I was a little bit like, okay, and I've got to now watch and be ready for this, and it's like. And then when you are controlling Star-Lord, it's the most sluggish, slowest. It's like almost feels like you're using a snail rather than a superhero, because he's just, and you're gonna use the controller to kind of move this thing around really awkwardly to find the point so that he's. It's that kind of thing of I will play through each of the episodes. I will never go back in and play these episodes ever again. This is a one-time deal. I'm not interested in... Like, you did 66% of everybody else. Do you want to play it again? What? No. There only seemed to be one point in the entire episode where it looked like if the story mode might have changed. If I went to see the Collector, or if I went to Nova Corps. That seemed to be the only point in the story where it might have actually changed direction of where I was going. And the only way I'd probably go back and play a game would be to pick the other one. Or pick Drax, it's like pick Drax instead of Gamora. It's like I don't think I'm not a Telltale. I don't think I'm going to be a Telltale fan. I don't think it's my type of game, and I think I will play through these episodes, but it's not. Having played this one now, I've got no interest in playing the other games.
No, and I did try to tell you that this is not so much a game as a QuickTime event experience. Typically, each episode is going to have one truly binary choice. In this case, it was do I sell Thanos to the Collector, or do I sell Thanos to the Nova Corps? And then a couple other small decisions that don't necessarily impact the choice or the gameplay too much, like do you pick Gamora or do you pick Drax for the final mission? There will be another binary choice in episode 2. There'll be another one in episode 3, and so on. The destination is almost always the same. It's just how you get there. So this is very much a journey game rather than the ending of the game. So 100% agree. Calling it a game might be a generous description for it. It's an interactive story, interactive movie, however you want to think about it.
It's almost as like if I went on Netflix and I saw Planet Hulk or Wolverine versus Hulk or something like that, and it'd be like an hour and a half, 2 hours of superhero storytelling. And I put it down to essentially it's like renting a movie. That's what the price of this season is. I mean, I bought the season pass. It's only like 16 quid. So it's 5 episodes. It's about £3 to go. So therefore, did I get my £3 go? I got 2 hours of entertainment. It's the same as renting a movie. So that's how I do it. It's that kind of thing of like, if I was to give it a score out of 10, I probably would only give it maybe a 6, because it was fun, but I wasn't left there going, this is the best experience. It was a good story, and I enjoyed the story, but it was a little bit like, okay, I don't think I'm a Telltale story fan. I just don't think I'd like that style of gameplay.
Yeah, and it's definitely not for everybody. And if you've tried a Telltale game in the past, Batman, any of the Walking Dead games, and you've decided they're not for you, this game will not change your opinion of that. And similarly, if you like Telltale games, then this isn't going to change your opinion of that. This is a bread and butter Telltale game. There are graphics upgrades to the game. The biggest problem is the engine. At this point, they really need to update that engine. I think they're still using the same one as from like the original Walking Dead. So, yeah.
I mean, it's that kind of thing of like, I will be looking forward to playing through it. I did like the fact I could basically sit down in one evening and kind of play it through, get rid of it, and kind of be done with it. But then I kind of feel like I won't touch this game now to the second episode, and then I won't touch it again to I will play for the episode. I enjoyed the story, and I did think it was good. I thought like the interactions with Rocket was good. Drax was the same old Drax. It's that kind of weird thing of like, you could almost say like, right, we're going to do a bit of comics, and we're going to do a little bit of cartoon, and we're going to do a little bit of the movie. But it's like different characters from different versions and stuff. But as I said in my written review, it just set me there going, I want a AAA Guardians game. That's what I want now. I had the Disney Infinity play set, which left me wanting more. This one's like, it's an odd one. It's like I said, there's nothing wrong with this game. It's just, I don't think it's for me.
And that's perfectly fine. I think that there are going to be plenty of people who are going to look at this and go, yeah, this isn't for me. And that's just the way it is. Telltale games are not for everybody, but at the same time, if you do enjoy them, this is a good one. The story is pretty solid. I think, especially on, say, Xbox One, where you might be able to get a refund if you get just the first episode. That is, if you do not buy the season pass, because that's not refundable. But the first episode, if you buy it a la carte, should be refundable as long as it doesn't take you 2 hours, which it shouldn't. Don't take my word for that, guys. Make sure that you look up before you buy it thinking, oh, I can refund it if I don't like it. Make sure that's actually the case. But I think for the cost, it's worth at least checking out if you are like, I want more Guardians of the Galaxy. Dang it, I've seen the movies. I'm getting excited for 2, or I've already seen 2, and I want more. It's not an expensive. Let's stop calling it a game. Let's call it an experience.
Yeah.
It's not an expensive experience, and it's worth at least checking out. And it doesn't take that long to get through. Each episode's only going to be an hour or 2 long.
Yeah, or you just wait till it's on PlayStation Plus or Xbox Games will go, because you know it's coming. And they can spread that out over a year, every 2 months for that. But it was fun. It was good in the fact of what it was. It didn't blow me away. It wasn't... like I said, it felt like just watching an animated movie. And the story was fine, and I enjoyed it. It just, I think I'd gone in expecting a game, and I kind of came out going. I mean, there was the only bit I really did when he was fighting Thanos, the button bashing at that point came in a bit more fast and furious where you're doing it, and it felt like you're doing something at least. But it generally, as a whole, compared to the other 3 releases that got released this week, it was definitely down the bottom end of my list of things to play.
Yeah, and I can totally understand that. And then one of the biggest complaints that I have about all Telltale games is, as you mentioned before, that whole thing of like, push the up button to move this boulder. And it's like, well, why? Why don't you just push the boulder? I can't fail at pushing the boulder. You just want me to push the button. Press X to pick up the gun. It's like, okay, I can let it sit here forever and nothing will happen until I hit the X button. It's not like you have 2 seconds to draw the gun. There are times, of course, when that is the case, where it's like you have 2 seconds to do this or you will fail. But there are other times where you're just like, couldn't he have just drawn the gun on his own? He doesn't need me to push the X button.
It's like the thing is, like, for me with like cutscenes in games as a whole, if there's too much text, I just start going bop, 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 bop. I just start hitting XXX, I think of like, let's get through this bit. I don't care about this. It's like anything decent in the storyline is going to come up in a proper cutscene, and is it like, who is, and it's that thing, even with Zelda, you get some of these things like, no, I'm not interested, I don't need to know this part, because I just want to get in and just run around and do stuff. It's just, it was kind of felt a bit like, if that had just been part of a game, I would have probably skipped half of that because I've just been like pressing. I don't care who, I know who the collector is. I don't need to talk about him. I don't care about Nebula's sister. It's like that part of me was just like, I think I've just become so accustomed in games to skipping cutscenes or skipping long text things and they were like, oh, this is the whole game is just the bits of the stuff I normally would skip in a game.
Yeah, if you're gonna skip the cutscenes, this is gonna be a very short game, extremely short games. We might give crap to games like, I don't know, the Xenoblade Saga or whatever, where it's like, oh, this game has so many cutscenes in it. Well, this game is a cutscene.
Yeah.
It really is. There are interactive bits, but expectations for a Telltale game are everything. This is an experience. It's a storytelling, lore-driven experience, and if your habit is to jump through cutscenes, which is a perfectly valid way of playing games, but you're not going to get much out of this game if that's the way you're going to play it. So that would be what I would say. I think
having played Kingdom Hearts and Zelda recently, like it's that kind of thing of there's that difference between, is this a vital in the story or am I just a side quest with someone that's just boring me? You just want to, I don't care about your uncle's sister, it's like, run off here and get this. And some of it felt a little bit like that with the questions of like, why are you upset, Drax? I thought it's like, whatever.
I did have a little bit of issues with Drax's writing. I know that the thing now for Drax is, he doesn't understand metaphors or symbolism or whatever, which came out of left field in the movie in the first place, although they got a lot of good mileage out of it. There were comments he made in the game where like, Drax shouldn't understand what he's saying right now. Like there's this whole thing like, there's a void in my stomach that only these cookies can fill. Fun line, but it's like, Drax wouldn't say that. No. The concept of a void in my stomach would be like, how did a black hole get in your stomach? Like, okay, But
I must admit, I'm much more looking forward to going and seeing the movie this week because I think we get it a week before the Americans. So, and we go, bastard. Yeah, so I'm going to be going to see that on Thursday, and I'm much more looking forward to it than this game. Like I said, solid. If you're used to Telltale games, do it. If you haven't played a Telltale game, maybe just pick up the one episode, see if you like it. But I enjoyed it. But I'm not in a, if if it's every 2 months from now on, I probably actually would be like, can we get it out of the way or but no, I enjoyed it. But like I said, if I was giving it a score out of 10, it would be very much in the average kind of like, okay. I mean, I'm not going to bother jumping into Back to the Future or Jurassic World or Batman.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily recommend jumping into those, even if you did enjoy it. I do think you need to look at it from a double rating perspective. First would be like, as a gamer in general, what would I rate this? And then also, as a fan of Telltale games, how would I rate this on the Telltale scale? And I think it's actually pretty high on the Telltale scale. Maybe not as good as Batman has been so far. Maybe like an 8 on that scale. But if you're looking at it from a purely game playing perspective, it might be a little bit lower on that scale.
It's almost like, for me, I view it as a game and as an entertainment form. Like a game really low, but entertainment high. I mean, I was reading some of the reviews because I'm going, am I just off base here? Because it's like, someone going, this is excellent, it's great, and I'm going, I didn't. And then I was reading some reviews that felt a bit like me. I was like, no, it's. So I'm very much sort of slap bang in the middle. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible at all. It was just. No. It was just. I think it was just not my kind of game.
Right, and this is very much a game of managing expectations. Do you already know what a Telltale game is? Do you like the format of Telltale games? Then you will like this. If you don't like the format of Telltale games, you won't like this. Worth mentioning, at the moment, the first episode is $5. However, if they follow the model they've been doing, the first episode will be free around the time either the second or third episode comes out. So if you're on the fence about this,
wait.
It just wait a couple of months. The first episode is almost certainly guaranteed to be free at some point. You can try it at that point, and then you can decide, do I want to get the remaining episodes, or you know what, maybe I'll just watch this as a let's play, because it's short enough that you can watch probably the entire game in a handful of hours. You can do it while you're working, whatever. And, it's practically a movie to begin with.
Yeah. On that note, guys, let us know what you guys think of it if you were playing it. And as per usual, you can check us out over at DisKingdom.com and follow us on all the different social medias. You can find James over at HeroicLegacy.com, or you can find him on Twitter at VagabondPeak. So thank you very much for watching, guys.
Later.
Laters.